yeah, when you're in it as an athlete, you don't realise what you're achieving. You're just still aiming for your next goal, whether it's a championships or a personal best, whatever it may be. It's only when you finished that you look back and think, oh, okay, I did okay. But as athletes, we're always hard on ourselves and want more. I look back and yes, I am proud, absolutely, definitely proud of what I achieved. Wish I'd achieved more, wish I'd have got on the rostrum and Olympic Games, but it wasn't meant to be. There are a number of points in my athletics career where I thought, yeah, I've made it. The first one was probably when I put my first GB vest on at the age of 13. I thought I'd made it. I thought I was a star. But then reality certainly kicked in. Thought I've got a long way to go yet. But, you know, jokes aside, I think it had to be Sydney in 2000. But yeah, I think, you know, when I look back, you know, when you're flying, as we say, you know when you're just in full flow in training, just seems so much easier and you're hardly touching the ground and you just feel invincible, and that's the feeling that is hard to describe, and I remember it. I have it in me. I get goosebumps just, you know, coming off that final turn and just feeling good and not thinking, oh my God, I've got another 100 meters to go. But that really happened in 2000. I always had enough in the tank, whereas other races I didn't. Obviously I ran out of track in Sydney, but hey ho, that's probably the one and only time I wished it was 450 meters. Whether you're in shape or not in shape, you always have nerves. Regardless, it's just how you deal with them, and it's a different kind of nerves when you know you're in shape, and the art of the possible. Anything is possible, but that feeling of it's confidence, but it's not arrogance either. And I can only speak for myself. I definitely wasn't an arrogant athlete. I was confident, and I think my glasses running in Oakley probably thought that I was more confident than I actually was, but that helped me. But that feeling of knowing that you are in shape and what you're capable of doing. And then, of course, that comes with your coaches, your family giving you that extra boost as well. And I always said my coach knew me better than myself. And when he says, Don, you're going to run fast, I knew I was going to run fast, regardless of how I felt, whether I felt rubbish or not. I knew I was going to run fast because he knew, he could see how I was moving on the track. This is something that is really close to my heart, that athlete-coach relationship, hence why I did that project coach a few years back with UK Athletics, where we don't often see that support network that sits behind the athlete when they're performing at that highest level. You just see the athlete on the field of play, and the coaches don't do what they do for recognition. They do because they want their athletes to do well. But I think it's important that we recognise their efforts, because often it's not paid. It's off their own backs. It's their own time in the cold, wet, every possible weather. And I actually think athletes have it easy because they can keep warm while they're warming up and training, whereas coaches have to stay still most of the time and freeze. I always say my coach was my psychologist, my doctor, my brother, my dad, you know, and they're not trained to have all those skills. So they deserve more than a medal. They deserve all the recognition that they should get, because they are often forgotten. Yeah, those early years were very much it shaped me mentally and physically, just how to deal with nerves, how to deal with how to compose myself, everything that I do now or did then when I was competing at a high level. So yeah, and club athletics, you can't beat it. I look back now when I was running for Croydon Harriers, you know, Red Hill and cinder tracks. One of my colleagues here at Birmingham 22 is an athlete as well, and he was just shocked that I used to hammer in my blocks, and I found that really amusing, that he found it amusing. But yeah, those things, going to the club athletics was just brilliant, you know, that sense of pride wearing your club vest, which is why I always wore it at national championship. Excitement for Birmingham 2022 is the only way I can describe it. I actually do feel like an athlete again, because it's like I never had the opportunity to compete on home turf at a major championships, but how my approach is in my job, and just being part of the whole Birmingham 2022 team, I'm approaching it as an athlete. You know, you've got your end date. What do you need to do in order to deliver on that day? And the nerves are definitely starting, the breathing started. It's going to be amazing. It really is. Well, there's a lot that our sport can definitely gain. Number one, we've already got a new stadium, Alexander Stadium. It is amazing. I must admit, the blue track has lured me to want to run a 400, come out of retirement and run on that. And you know, thinking long term, again, jokes aside, we will be able to host major championships there, and I know we've done the bid for the European Championships, which is awesome. And you know, Birmingham is at the heart of the UK, so people from Scotland can travel easy to Birmingham, and likewise from London up to Birmingham from all corners of the UK. So I think our sport is in a great place to be able to host great championships in the future. I think the sprints are going to be good. I do think the women's 800 will be good as well. To be fair, all our middle distance athletes are doing phenomenal this year. So I think, and the positive, I have longer to shout, which is good. Where I don't have long enough to shout for the 100 meters, but definitely the 800 is something that I've got my eye on. Yes, so I'm currently seconded from UK Athletics to Birmingham 2022 as their head of inclusion and engagement. That's two sides of that role. One is to embed equality, diversity, inclusion into everything that we do, because of course the Games are saying that we will be an inclusive and accessible Games, which not many other Games have said. So we really put ourselves out there, hence why this role has never existed before. So that's part of it. And the other part is looking after community engagement. So community engagement sits within my remit. So our aim is to bring the community with us on this journey with the Games, as opposed to thinking, oh gosh, transport and all the other things that a major championships brings, disruption sometimes, but at the same time there's so many opportunities for them to get involved. If they haven't got a ticket, they can see some free events as well. And then of course safeguarding sits within my remit as well. Again, a first, we've never had safeguarding lead, and it's very important, especially in sport right now. So yeah, quite a big remit that I'm looking after. Birmingham is hugely diverse, and the Games will give Birmingham the opportunity to showcase that diversity. Even the times I've been coming up to Birmingham, it changes all the time. It's getting a different vibe already. You're feeling that buzz, but we just really need to use the Commonwealth as an opportunity to leverage the diversity the city brings, and then not just for the Games, but when years to come as well. I had many sporting heroes. My first one was Jessie Owens, and my second one was Wilma Rudolph. Both phenomenal athletes, because they just, despite the odds, they just came through and performed so well. I mean, phenomenally well, and they were definitely my idols.